thanks to the writers, the Burnaby Writers Society for having me here. And I am just to begin with, I'm a nature lover and I love nature. And nature has its own language, I feel, and I try to decipher it in my own small way. And these are my small, sort of humble contribution to the wonderful world of poetry out here. So, this is I've had poems published in USA and UK, etc., and in India. This is one of my first book, Fleeting Shadows. Now all my books are all over the island, Duncan, Victoria, etc., and out here in Nanaimo in chapters, and of course Amazon, and how it is these days. So I would like to read a couple of poems from Fleeting Shadows. Now, originally, I spent a lot of time in the prairies, and it was wonderful out there. Even though it was cold, people say, "How did you stay there?" I said, "It's wonderful because you connect with nature. I mean, the starkness of nature has its own beauty, which enraptures you." And I wrote a lot of poems out there, and I was thankfully mentored by a lot of writers in residence, and the uh, current parliamentary poet laureate, Louise Haff. She also worked on my initial manuscript, and so I kind of polished it. So I would like to read a couple of poems from there. The Prairie Wind. A lion from its lair, it roars and howls, shakes the earth topsy-turvy. Arctic wind blows, breathing frost, sweeps over a mantle of snow with sharp and icy fingers, till rosy cheeks turn blue and bone marrow freezes to stone. A lost soul that howls through deserted avenues and flounders in the dark back alleys. So far away from home, memories flit by. The sun splashes through the dewy grass, fragrant marigolds, flaming balls of fire. Perhaps spring is tiptoeing in there. Its whisper echoes softly, the air thick with lavender. Back here, winter lingers, tiny footprints of snow, the pond a sheet of glass. Thank you. Okay, another one. I'll read a couple of poems and I promise I won't bore you about the wintry prairies. It's titled Winter Stillness. Smooth as marble and graceful as a gazelle, she sallied across the black darkness, the strange stillness all around her. Only the soft hush of the rain falls silently on black rutted snowflakes as the raw night wind sings to the leafless birches. She emerges from the darkness, bathed in pale light, that makes shadows leap across frozen ponds and firs. It is then that I spied her, clear as opal, a half-sky figure poised in the January sky, only in the prairies. Thanks. Spring knocks gently at my door. Give me the first sparkle of sun ray as it bursts through a grey cloud to silhouette a robin in gold. Let me feel the pink of frilly cherry blossom and smell the fragrance of scarlet azaleas that nod in the breeze to caress the curl on your cheek. Let me hear a sparrow's chirp and the endless chatter of warblers and chickadees that peck under the shady rhododendron bushes. Or hear the haunting hoot of the owl in the still moonless night. Let me catch the rasp of the crickets among the spindly grass, growing wild in the empty barn. Let me see the fluttering butterfly over a fresh burst of daisies. Do I feel the madness of spring as I chase a white rabbit? Do I still miss my childhood when I caught spotted ladybugs in a glass bottle? At times, I do. Okay. Okay. This is slightly more philosophical, away from the parades. So, hold my hand. That's the title. You could interpret it in any way. The world is dark and deep. There are times when my flagging spirit fails me. Times when I soar like a golden aureole into the blue. Hold my hand. Times when, like a rudderless ship, I gasp for breath and drown into the abysmal depths of failure. Hold my hand. Times when all seems lost, when only hope remains, like a narrow, craggy ledge, a slippery precipice of tears. Hold my hand. Times when I feel your presence, like the radiance of warm sunshine on a frosty day, when like a beacon of light you steer me through the murky flood of war where man turns against man. I, a mere speck of life, shudder to think how it would be, lonely and lost. My anguished spirit seeks relief. Hold my hand. Thank you. Okay. Let's talk a bit about dawn. Its title is Skyscape. The evening sky, no longer scrawled with stratus clouds, burns a tawny red. The sun slips through the tall pines, slanting shadows straddle forest floor. A pair of swans glides across still waters, gather the fading day in their wings. Misty veil of twilight sky deepens the grey chasm of the evening. A distant star shines faint, and the night sky lies drenched in moonlight. A solitary loon calls. The silence is deafening, shattered by sudden wind splattering of a dark grove of aspen. It dies down, perhaps a night jar, haunted by a nightmare. The forest is still again. Life slows down, seems to stir. A few hours to daybreak. Thank you. Okay. Okay. The next book, poem I'm going to read is from In the Rising Mist. This is poems a bit about my memories about India, the pollution, the population, all the TION, the corruption, and yet it was my country once upon a time. Okay, so there are some jottings from here. Okay. So in India, there's a lot of rain, and there's a season which is called the monsoon, where it not just rains, it pours and pours. So this is a poem about that, a bit about that. It's titled After the Rain. There is a brief lull as if every leaf and branch waits to catch its breath. Crisp breeze smells of wet hay drifts across glistening leaves of nasturtiums, and then begins the slow dance of the birch leaves as they clap and sway to shake off water droplets dripping from slender, tapering branches. Raindrops cling to soft curled rosebuds, fragile bunches of white candy tuft droop, but rain overflows partially blocked by dried, wilted leaves, scurrying across the rain-swept pavement. Streamlets of water slide across the cushiony blades of calla lily, like molten mercury reflecting the day. A broken flower pot with a wilted purple zinnia lies fallen on the cobblestones. Tiny puddles reflect the sombre sky. A flight of starlings, wet and ecstatic, takes off, twirling into oblivion. Heady aroma of honeysuckle drifts toward the soggy ivy, where a slimy green frog, half buried in the slushy mud, eyes the gloomy day. It has been like this since morning. We wait patiently for a break in the clouds. None comes. Drenched poppies hang lifeless, their limp petals phased and clinging. Shrill call of the cicadas rock shadows speckled oak branches. Children spill out onto the drenched grass. They play, shout, and slosh around. Their mothers chide them for catching a cold, for dirtying their frilly frocks. Who cares? Children will be children. Daylight fades into lengthening shadows. A pallid full moon is faintly visible above the soaring bamboo. At last, a break in the clouds. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Early morning chores in India. Early morning rays splatter gold across the wet grass outside my room. I peep outside, swallows chirp as they twirl, warblers chatter under the white rose bower planted by mother a few years ago. A magpie dives into a geranium branch. Buster's excited bark as he bounds across the lawn toward the swishing water hose, while the old gardener, with a toothless grin, waters our tender rose plants. Down the road, a low moan of a passing car tells me it will soon be commuter time and all the rush. Mother is awake. I can hear the soft patter of her feet on the sun-washed floor, her soft voice a whisper as she and a grey balding cook fill a big round earthen pot with frothy fresh milk, a melody in satiny white witness. She lowers the wooden churner with its four wooden wedges, like the segments of a giant tangerine, into the pot, smoothened with hues, pulls at the strings around the churner, her hands moving in perfect rhythm, to the whirring sound of churning milk. Huge dollops of creamy butter float like icebergs on a choppy white sea. I know there will be hot buttered toast for breakfast to make our lips smack and lick our greasy fingers. I want to be a child once more. But you know, life does not move backwards. The excited chirp of the perky sparrows hopping on the branches of the apple tree, our dog's short yelps and barks as he splashes in the water, whooshing out of the sprinkler, reminds me that it's another day at home in India. I wake up from my dream. It is supper time here in Canada. Thank you. Okay, can read from um, this is titled Still Waters. This is about dementia, Alzheimer's, and just how a family copes with it. A lone stranger. Who am I? A child, a human, or a monster? I see with my eyes, yet I am blind. Blind to what I see. She says, I'm your sister. No, I say, you are the neighbor next door who sent us strawberries last summer. I hear, but I'm deaf. Deaf to what my daughter tells me. I love you, Mom. I don't hear you, I retort back. I don't even know you. I hear no sighs, nor see those tears sliding down your pallid cheek. I can speak, but I'm dumb because what I speak is alien to you. My tongue only knows garbled words that drop like stones out of a drooling mouth. I live with faces that stare at me, distorted and disfigured. I live with ghosts that come alive through inky darkness. They keep me company at night. Their blank stares frighten me no more. I'm a stranger to myself. Thank you. In dreams, we have walked together. You have walked with me in dreams full of mist wrapped valleys and lavender fields. Today, I dream of solitary alleys. You walked with me in dreams filled with daffodils, dancing in the jasmine scented air. Today, we walk among the stubble, the air so strangely still. Why, I ask, have my dreams turned into nightmares? Somewhere, something snapped between us. You became someone else, someone I recognize no more, as you are not you. I have become a stranger to you. Have I lost you? Mother dear, how I yearn for that look, that long gone sparkle in your eyes, that angelic smile, and that warm, lingering embrace. I fear that I will never get you back from the dark, forbidden world where you now live. But my hopes rekindle. I will never give up trying. Thank you. Thanks. One last poem. I know who I am. When the last trace of snow is gone and the grass is back to green, my memory returns. Oh, I know who I am. I'm a mother to my son and daughter. My daughter, a chic working lady who drops in every Saturday, sometimes with a packet of Cadbury chocolates, sometimes with nothing. My son, always busy staying downtown where life is a roller coaster whizzing past, never has the time to even say hello. I know this is the way of the world. It always was and will always be. Soon they will seldom come, perhaps even stop visiting. They have their own lives. They won't have time for me. An old woman with myopic eyes and a sick mind, a woman who is still their mother. Tell them I still love them. I may not recognize them sometimes. I may even turn them away, but my heart will always beat for them, even though my memory fades further and further away each day. Thank you. I think that should be enough.